"If you touch me again, I swear I'll scream." That was the first thing F ever said to Zayn O'Quidley. And it was also the last normal day of her life. Rewind. 2 weeks earlier. She was standing outside a black steel gate in Lekki Phase 1. Her makeup box slung across her shoulder, and fear bubbling in her stomach. This wasn't just any client. This was Amara O'Quidley, billionaire's wife, Instagram royalty, and one of Lagos's most photographed faces. And somehow F, a broke makeup artist from the mainland, had landed the gig. The gate slid open like a warning. Inside was silence. Wealthy, heavy silence. She walked into a house too clean to be real and too quiet to be safe. A maid led her upstairs without a word. And then, in a room filled with perfumes more expensive than her entire rent for the year, F met her. Amara was stunning, the kind of woman who looked like she didn't cry, or beg, or lose. But F barely had time to absorb it, because from the corner of the room, someone else stepped in. He didn't speak. He just stood there. Zayn O'Quidley, her client's husband, the man who would ruin her life. Their eyes locked. His gaze didn't flicker, didn't move, didn't care that his wife was in the room. In that moment F knew. This job wasn't just a job. It was a setup. She just didn't know for what yet. F had done makeup for politicians' wives, music video girls, and even one over-surgeried Nollywood actress. But never had she worked under a stare like Zayn O'Quidley's. Not once did he blink. As she blended Amara's foundation, she could feel him watching, like heat on the back of her neck. Every time she looked up, his eyes were there. Cold, curious, calculating. Amara, oblivious, kept scrolling through her phone. "Can you contour a little more? My cheeks looked flat in the last shoot." F nodded, focusing on the work. But Zayn stepped closer. Not to his wife, to her. She could smell him. Sharp cologne. Something foreign. "I've never seen you here before," he said, voice low and smooth. F didn't answer. She wasn't sure she was supposed to. But Amara looked up then, and Zayn's eyes flicked away. F kept her head down, hands moving fast. 20 minutes later she was packing up. Zayn had vanished, and Amara handed her a thick envelope of cash. "No transfers," she said flatly. "My husband doesn't like a paper trail." As F stepped out of the mansion and into the heat of the Lekki sun, she finally exhaled. But before she could unlock her phone to call a cab, a black SUV pulled up beside her. The back window rolled down. It was Zayn. He didn't say anything, just stared. Then a slow smile crept across his face, like he already knew something she didn't. F turned and walked away. But deep down, she knew this man wasn't done with her, and she feared the next time she'd see him, it wouldn't be in daylight. 3 bookings later it became a routine. F would arrive. Amara would complain. F would do her makeup in silence. And Zayn would watch. Always. From the stairs. From the shadows. From behind the glass of his upstairs office. He never touched her. Never spoke again. Until the 4th session. F had just zipped her kit shut when she heard her name. F. He turned. Amara was still in the bathroom. But Zayn was by the door, arms folded, expression unreadable. "I need you for a private session," he said. "Tomorrow." F blinked. I only do bookings through. I already called the agency. It's approved. 7 p.m. My study." She hesitated. "Your wife. She won't be home." He walked off without waiting for a reply. The next evening, she arrived with her stomach in knots. The house was darker than usual. Fewer staff. No Amara. A maid led her to the study. When the door opened it was just Zayn. No makeup chair. No lights. Just him. And 2 glasses of wine. F froze at the threshold. There must be a mistake. I was told. I lied. He stood slowly, walking toward her. I didn't call you for makeup. Then why am I here? He didn't smile this time. Because I want you. Her throat dried. This is wrong. I don't care. I do. Zane stepped closer. His voice dropped. Do you care enough to lose the money I've been paying you? F's lips parted, but no words came out. Or your sister's next hospital bill. Silence. Long cold. Then he reached for her jaw. She slapped his hand away. But that only made his eyes burn hotter. I'll scream, she whispered. Zane's voice was barely a murmur. There's no one to hear you. She didn't scream. Not because she didn't want to, but because her throat locked up. Zane stepped back. Just a little. Not out of guilt, but as if he was giving her space to decide. To choose between fighting back and surviving. And survival had a name. Dana, her sister. Lying weak in a hospital bed, needing dialysis and injections that cost more than 5 of F's salaries combined. F's hands trembled as she backed away from the study door. But Zane stepped forward again. Slowly, patiently. Like a man unbothered by resistance because he was used to getting what he wanted. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Tears burned her eyes, but she bit them back. She didn't want him to see her cry. She just nodded once. A stiff, almost robotic movement. It didn't take long. When it was over, Zane dressed silently, like it was just another boardroom meeting. Like she wasn't still curled up on the couch, hugging herself like she was trying to keep her body from falling apart. Before he walked out, he dropped something on the table. A white envelope. She didn't touch it until she was alone. Inside, 300,000 Nigerian nairas in cash. Blood money. Shame money. F didn't spend it. But she didn't throw it away either. Because the next week, Adana needed another emergency transfusion. And the hospital wouldn't wait for her dignity. It was supposed to be a one-time thing. That's what she told herself. But the next time Amara left town, the call came again. No lies. No study. Just a text from an unknown number. Come upstairs. Doors open. She deleted it. Waited 30 minutes. Then went anyway. Not because she wanted to. But because she knew if she refused, he'd find another way. And this time, he wasn't gentle. After that, it became a pattern. Ritual. A silent nightmare. Every time F came to do Amara's makeup, she'd feel Zane's eyes strip her bare. He wouldn't speak. He didn't need to. The message was always the same. I own you now. Sometimes it was rough. Sometimes quiet. Always quick. Always with that same white envelope left behind like a thank you card. And with every visit, F grew quieter. Colder. Number. Until one night, she made a decision. She downloaded a call recorder on her phone. Hid a small mic in her makeup brush holder. If he was going to break her, then she'd take him down with her. But the plan wasn't perfect. Because something strange was happening. Zane was changing. He started calling her on nights he didn't need to. Asking what she was doing. If she was seeing anyone. One time, he showed up at her apartment unannounced. And left flowers at the door. F started locking her windows at night. But her phone still buzzed with his messages. You don't reply fast enough. Are you trying to make me jealous? Don't make me come find you again. This wasn't lust anymore. It was control. It was obsession. And the more she tried to pull away, the more dangerous it became. The air in the mansion had changed. Colder. Sharper. Like the walls themselves had started listening. Amara sat unusually still during her glam session that morning. Eyes locked on the mirror. Not on her reflection, but on F. You've been with me for how long now? She asked suddenly. F blinked. 3 weeks. Amara turned her head slightly, lips pressed into a line. You're quiet, she added. I like that. But you also look tired. F forced a smile. Long commute. Amara nodded slowly. But her eyes didn't believe the lie. And neither did F. That evening, F's phone buzzed again. She knows something. Come tonight. F ignored the message. Then came another. You don't want me angry, F. She deleted it. The next day, when she arrived at the house, 2 things hit her at once. Amara wasn't in the glam room. Zayn wasn't in his usual shadows. Instead, a driver led her upstairs to a different room, a private suite. "Madam will meet you here." Entered slowly. On the dresser, a cup of tea, folder, small voice recorder. And then, Amara stepped out from the bathroom without makeup, and with her arms crossed. "Sit," she said, not asking. Sat. Amara slid the recorder closer. "I know something's going on," she said, calm but razor-sharp. "Don't insult me by denying it." F opened her mouth, closed it again. "Don't worry," Amara continued. "I'm not mad at you." That confused F. Until Amara leaned in and whispered, "He's done this before." F's throat tightened. "He's done this before." The words echoed in the room like a curse. Amara didn't blink. She sipped her tea as if she hadn't just ripped the floor from under F's feet. "You think you're the first," Amara continued, her voice low and calm. "You're not. You're just the first one he got stupid with." F sat frozen. "I didn't ask for this." "I know." Amara nodded. "You don't have the eyes of a gold digger. You have the eyes of someone trapped. I know that look well." She walked over to the dresser and opened the folder. Inside were pictures, grainy CCTV stills, hotel lobbies, parking garages, and one too familiar. F leaving the house at night. "I started collecting these the day you showed up," Amara said. "Not because I blamed you, but because I needed proof." F's voice cracked. "Proof of what?" Amara turned. "That I married a predator." Silence. "I'm not stupid," she continued. "Zayn is powerful, untouchable. If I file for divorce, he'll bury me. Say I'm unstable, paranoid, cheating. He's done it to other women before. And the public, they'll believe him. They always do." F stared at her, unsure where this was going. That's when Amara smiled. Not kindly, like a woman who had finally stopped playing by the rules. "So here's what we'll do." She leaned closer. "You keep seeing him. Let him think he owns you. Record everything. Every time he texts. Every time he touches you. You wear a mic. You feed him lies. Make him feel safe." F's lips parted in disbelief. "You want me to stay?" Amara nodded. "You'll be my eyes and ears. I want his empire ruined. His face on every blog. His name burned." F shook her head slowly. "This is insane." "No. This is survival." Then she said the one thing that made F stop breathing. "Do it. And I'll pay for your sister's entire treatment. Abroad." F stared at her. She wanted to scream, say no, to run. But all she could see was Adana, hooked up to machines, too tired to speak, slowly fading. Tears welled in her eyes. Amara placed a recorder in F's hand. "You've already been used, F. Now it's time to use him." The next few weeks felt like war. F became two people. To Amara, she was the spy, slipping tiny recorders into her makeup brushes, forwarding text messages, documenting every stolen moment. To Zayn, she was the obsession, silent, trembling, and available. He thought she'd surrendered. But what he didn't know was that every time he touched her now, he was handing her the knife that would slit his empire open. And still F couldn't sleep. She hated herself, hated what he did, hated what she'd become. But each time she visited the hospital and saw Adana smile through the pain, she told herself, just one more day, just one more recording. Then came the nausea. First she blamed stress, then skipped meals, then blamed the trauma. But one morning, after nearly fainting on a bus home, she walked into a roadside pharmacy, bought a cheap test, and locked herself in her bathroom. 5 minutes later, her scream nearly shattered the walls. 2 pink lines. Sat on the floor numb. Not crying. Not breathing. She was pregnant. And there was no doubt about who the father was. The man who ruined her life. The man whose empire she was about to destroy. Her hands shook as she picked up her phone. Not Amara. Not Zayn. She called the only person who'd never lied to her. Adana. I think I've made everything worse. That night her phone rang again. Unknown number. She let it ring. Then it rang again. And again. And again. Until finally a message came through. Open the door. Froze. She peered through the window. Outside, in the dark, stood Zane. He wasn't smiling. F didn't open the door. She didn't have to. Zane kicked it in. Wood splintered. The frame cracked. And there he stood, in black, dripping with rain, and trembling with something between rage and panic. You told her, he growled. F backed into the room, hand instinctively over her stomach. Told who? Amara. His voice shattered the silence. You told her about the pregnancy. Shook her head. I didn't say a word. He stared at her, and for the first time since she'd known him, he looked scared. Why are you afraid? She asked softly. Zane didn't answer. Instead, he crossed the room in 2 steps and dropped to his knees in front of her. Hands gripping her waist, forehead resting against her belly. I'll protect you. And the baby. No matter what. Just, don't let anyone take you from me. His voice was broken. Real. For a second, F almost believed him. But then she saw it, in his eyes. Not love. Not warmth. Possession. She stepped back. I'm not yours, Zane. His face hardened instantly. You think she'll help you? Amara. Stayed silent. He stood, adjusted his sleeves. You can run. But if you try to take my child away from me. He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. When he left, she didn't cry. She packed a small bag, grabbed her sister, and disappeared before sunrise. Because she knew now. It was no longer about just surviving Zane. It was about protecting her child from him. F didn't stop running until she reached Ibadan. A friend of her late mother owned a small 1-room apartment there. No questions asked, no judgments. Just a mattress, a fan that barely worked, and space to breathe. It was the first time she'd slept without checking the door twice. But peace didn't last long. By the 3rd day, her phone pinged with messages. You think I won't find you? I've traced the last number you called. Come back home. I miss you. That's what Zane called the cage he put her in. She blocked him. Then reached for her burner phone and opened the file folder. Audio clips, screenshots, timestamps. Whispers in hotel rooms. Commands behind closed doors. His voice on top of hers. Cruel, cold, controlling. At a small legal clinic in Bodija, she met with Barrister Olamide, a young female lawyer known for helping women who had no one else. Handed her the flash drive. I have proof, she said. Enough to ruin him. The lawyer scrolled through the files, face darkening. This is more than enough, she whispered. You have him. You own him. But before they could draft a statement, the lights flickered. And Olamide's office phone buzzed. The secretary's voice came through. There's a man at reception asking for Ms. F. Olamide turned pale. Did you tell anyone you were coming here? Shook her head, heart racing. No one. But in her bag, her main phone vibrated, the one she left powered off for days. The screen lit up with a new message from a number she didn't recognize. Cute little hideout. Hope the neighbors mind babies crying. Looked up at Olamide. I need to disappear again. The lawyer nodded. Do it tonight. I'll handle the rest. But neither of them knew. Zane's assistant was already 2 steps ahead. Because while F clutched a flash drive for survival, someone else had stolen a copy.